Welcome to today's Ukraine war update for July 22, 2026. The protests worked. After a week of rallies across a dozen Ukrainian cities, President Zelensky has dismissed his commander-in-chief. Oleksandr Syrskyi, who had led Ukraine's armed forces since February 2024, is out, and in his place comes Major General Mykhailo Drapatyi, at 43, one of the youngest men ever to hold the job. Drapatyi made his name with a rare act of accountability. He resigned as ground forces commander last year on principle after a Russian missile killed 12 soldiers at a training ground. Syrskyi went out with a line written for the record: "I am handing my successor an army that is not only holding the line, but is in a state of offensive." And it did not stop there. Within about 18 hours, Zelensky replaced the army's second-in-command too, naming Major General Ihor Skybiuk chief of the general staff. Both of Ukraine's top military posts changed hands in a single day. But this is only half a resolution. Mikhailo Fedorov has not been given his ministry back, and when he was offered other senior roles, reportedly including deputy prime minister, he turned them down, saying he still does not understand why he was removed. Ukraine remains without a confirmed defense minister. Russia lost another 1,330 soldiers and more than 1,600 drones. The artillery streak is broken, though. 57 guns destroyed, after 4 days running of 82 to 92. Russia's night was heavy but largely blunted. 216 drones, 3 cruise missiles, and an Iskander. Ukraine down 204 drones and all 3 cruise missiles, but the ballistic missile got through, hitting the village of Cheki outside Kyiv and wounding 5 people, 3 of them children. Away from the capital, the day was deadlier. Around 10 people were killed across Zaporizhia, Kharkiv, Donetsk, Kherson, and Odesa regions. And Odesa's authorities put a number on something we have followed all week. In the month to the 20th of July, Russia attacked 28 civilian merchant ships in the city's ports, killing 21 people and injuring 34. The Golden Leo was not an aberration. It was a campaign. And Ukraine went back to the same target set for a third time in 5 days, but moved it south. Drones struck Wildberries logistics complexes at Krasnodar, at Novinominsk, and at Armavir, where a warehouse worker was killed and several people were wounded. Zelensky claimed the strikes himself and said plainly why. These are hubs supplying the Russian army with drone components and navigation gear. He said an oil depot was hit too, along with 5 Shadow Fleet vessels, and Ukraine's drone commander says 13 ships have been struck in 48 hours. For a 4th night running, substations went down in Crimea, blacking out Yalta and Odesa. It is a deliberate campaign against a supply chain hidden inside a consumer business. And, as at the weekend, the people dying in these warehouses are civilians. On the front line, 219 clashes were recorded, and the center of gravity has shifted. For the first time in weeks, Pokrovsk was not the busiest sector. Sloviansk saw 27 assaults, Kostiantynivka and Pokrovsk 26 each. Kupiansk, by contrast, went quiet. No Russian offensive action there at all. No settlement changed hands. For all the turbulence at the top of Ukraine's army this week, the line itself has not moved. But the protesters are not finished. Their organizers have called an open-ended rally in Kyiv from Friday, with one demand left: bring Fedorov back. That wraps up today's update. If you found this useful, press the like button and subscribe in order to support this channel. Stay informed, stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.